All
Woohoo!
right. Are we live? I think we're live.
Says we're live. I don't know.
Welcome, everybody, to Lucy's Lounge Happy Hour. This is our
Whoop, whoop.
first session, right,
Our
Susan?
first session. Yeah, we're trying something new and it's pretty exciting. We're going to call it Sips and Strategy with Corey and Susan in Lucy's Lounge. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Definitely. But hey, we're always open for feedback, right? If this is a total flop or completely corny, keep it to yourself because we really don't want to hear it. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a virtual lounge where bold insights meet great company. Right now, it's just I think the two of us. I wouldn't even know if anybody was on with us yet.
No, and actually, if this is a total flop, let's hope no one sees this.
For sure. Hey,
Right?
let's talk about what our theme is for our happy hour today.
Let's do it.
All right,
On tap.
we're gonna talk about the eat. You know what that is?
Oh,
What is
that's well. Actually, I love that because it's happy hour, and that's on the menu. So, how appropriate is that, right? So, that tie-in between Lucy's Lounge and Eat. We've been talking about it all week. It is experience, expertise, trust, and authority. Got the letters mixed up, but A being authority, T being trust, and how relevant it is going to be for sales and marketing in hospitality, in any industry, right?
Yeah, definitely. Before we talk about eat, though, Corey, why don't you tell me what's in your glass today?
Oh, well, it's funny. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm still kind of reeling from that. You and I both, 2 weeks ago, went our different directions. You went farther east. I went down to the desert. I guess we both went east, actually. I drove, you flew. I went down to the Pyramid Global Leadership Conference down at La Quinta, and it was fantastic. In fact, at our hole, if you can see this, maybe you can't. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
John Daly. We sponsor the hole. And just to kick this thing off here, I'm gonna don my mullet because by the last time I'll get to wear this again. So, what do you think?
Don't take this the wrong way, but you're insane. I can't believe you went out in public like that, but I love it.
Yes, you won't even believe how long I planned for this thing. Months. I had Amazon boxes. I had the pants, shirts.
Why? Tell me why.
Obsessed with it. Got into character. Even was trying to listen to his voice. Well, because standing out in a crowded marketplace is so much more difficult these days, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're going to sponsor a golf hole, why not try and do something a little bit different? So, thought we'd take a chance, show up at that first hole, had a variety of mullets there for people to don and put on. And I must say it was a total success. People got totally into it, and they were really, believe it or not, there wasn't a whole lot of drinking going on. So it was fantastic. It was great conversation, a lot of fun, and it was just a blast. So that's the sole part of this deal. It's like I said, I had a blast. If no one else thought it was fun, at least I did. So that's the most important part.
That is the most important thing. And I'm guessing that they remember that for sure. They will remember.
Yeah, good, bad, or ugly, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily say this is a bad hairstyle. What do you think?
I don't think so.
And amazingly, I can see fairly decent on these glasses. So
all right, well, you do you.
no, that was the part of, that's all I'll do. I'll put John Daly away for now. So
All right.
what about you?
Well, while you were there doing the soul part of it, I was doing the science part, and I went to Impact Live by our friend Marcus Sheridan and his entire amazing crew that put together the event. Where I think the nuts and bolts I learned so much. The nuts and bolts of it was around the book that they just released, Endless Customers. And how brands can position themselves in the new world. because things are not like they were 5, 10, 15 years ago, not even 2 years ago before ChatGPT came out. It's a totally different world, and it was exciting, and it's just great to learn a lot of that, which leads me to our topic today, because the EEAT is a core element ish of kind of the new way of how people are finding and working with partners and businesses and companies and services. So why don't we dive into what that is exactly?
Yeah, no, especially on the B2B side, right?
Yeah, definitely on the B2C, especially on the B2B side, because I think a lot of B2C companies have been doing this somewhat for a while, but I think B2B has a real big opportunity, especially in hospitality. There's a real big opportunity for a lot of B2B hospitality B2B companies to really take advantage of this way of getting out there and getting seen. So let's talk about the first one, which is expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what it really means, what expertise really means? I mean, beyond like credentials, what does expertise mean?
Well, and before we dive into this, why we think it's so critical right now is because we're moving from a product focus to a people focus, right? Where it used to be show, now it's teach. And because of B2B, we're moving more towards a solution-based search for your solution. So that's why this human people focus is so important. And that's why EAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So expertise is, do you know your stuff? And how, depth of knowledge, certifications and a list of, I've done it. There's a ROI, there's a case studies, there's proof of what you've done, right?
Yeah, there's definitely proof. Just a way to show it rather than just say it.
Absolutely.
You can't just say, I have credentials in this. There has to be a lot behind it to show it, and being consistent with it, right? Not
sure.
Like a case study you put out 5 years ago is going to help you with your expertise. You have to be consistently putting that kind of content out there.
Absolutely. It's not a set it and forget it anymore, which is traditionally
Born.
Right.
It used to be so much easier when I could hire a company to take care of this for me.
But the companies aren't the experts. You are.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, how is your drink? Let's see.
It's good. I've got my shaker tin.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh, wait, I probably can open the lid.
Hey, nice. There we go.
Like that? You like that?
Yeah, very nice.
Double fisting. We're both double fisting.
I can't get my fingers around that shaker. What's that thimble too, by the way? My perspective's a little off. The scale.
Yeah. Well, you are no expert bartender. Sorry, Corey.
No, now that I don't drink anymore, I can't mix a cocktail. Well, I guess mocktails are still okay, but I've lost my groove behind the bar. So
Well, there are some craft mocktails that I've seen that are pretty amazing, actually.
They are, and they're just as expensive, by the way.
Yeah, they are, unfortunately.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. When you want to do dry January and you're like, oh, I'm going to save a lot of money. And then you go and it's like, oh, no, this craft mocktail costs as much as my regular cocktail.
And then you just say, forget it.
Yeah, I'm like, just put the bourbon in there. I don't care.
Put the booze in there.
Awesome. Well, why don't we move to our next E? Oh, do you have anything else to say about expertise?
Well, no. But maybe I really underscore the fact that it's one thing, and I think this probably checks off on all four of these letters that we're talking about, but it's one thing for you to say it, but it's a whole different thing when others are saying it on your behalf.
Yeah.
Right? So,
right. Yep.
And I think maybe that's where authority actually comes into place. Maybe
I was going to say trust. So we will talk about that when we get to the trust part.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. So in fact, why don't you talk about experience? That's the other E, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the experience.
All right.
So, real stories versus resume fluff, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want the fluff. but showcasing your experience and how you're differentiated from the sea of sameness, right? Especially now in this AI-driven world where there's a lot of bot-written content. What experiences can you bring to the plate to help you stand out and your realness, so to speak?
Mm. Now, how important is that to actually weave in, to take in what you talked about experience, what a particular company was struggling or person was struggling with, and where you took them in terms of that experience, good, bad, or ugly, right? Sometimes even not everything, it's not always roses, right?
It's always roses around here, Corey.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute. That we haven't gotten to the trust factor yet.
Well, I know, and I feel like that could be a part of the trust, right? Like really
Right.
being really transparent. But the experience is just like it's hard to. It's hard for me.
Trying to clean up on the bar here.
Yeah.
How about this? There we go.
Yeah. But like let's say you're a hotel GM, right? And it's one thing for you to be like, I worked at the Hilton for 13 years. It's another thing for you to be like, I had such an amazing experience of working with these groups and this group versus that, and here's how we did it. Something different and unique about a specific experience, right?
Absolutely.
Much of the minutia. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, like I said, when you can rope that into of what the value of that experience is, when you're trying to solve a problem, or, it's one thing just to list things, but it's a whole different level when you can attribute some sort of outcome of the experience. Hopefully positive, but that's part of what you and I are going to lean into more. It's not oftentimes when you just focus on what went right and never about what went wrong, you can never really improve. And it's that notion of putting your head in the sand.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? How do you improve if you're not honest?
For sure. Well, and it's like I've been there, done that, kind of just showing that you've been there, you've done that, good, bad, and ugly.
Right.
Sure. And that all kind of works together to build that trust, which is still a couple of letters away, but it all works together. And
right.
AI likes it. Google has always liked it. And when they're pulling search results, that's the kind of information that they're looking for.
Indeed. You said they all go together. You mean kind of like a nice blended cocktail?
Yes. Shall we shake one up?
I believe you're empty. Oh, wait a minute. No, you got a lot to go there. I think you got to get on that drink, by the way. Oh, no, that's awesome.
Next time, put some popcorn up here.
Oh, well, then we start watching a Netflix and get sidetracked, and then
Okay. All right. Why don't we move on to authority, Corey?
Ooh, I like it. All right.
Tell me about authority.
Well, that's really where do other people trust you? Do you have that currency of positive perception that you can do it, or you are up for the task, or it's that sense of do others trust you to do that?
Are you reliable, and are you respected in
yes.
as all of part of it, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that.
Is there a way to claim authority without sounding arrogant?
That's a delicate balance right there, right? Because I think if you position it as how you've helped others, and in a very authentic, raw way, without saying, hey, look how great I am. But, I think you and I really do enjoy helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if our help led to a positive outcome. Sometimes, like I said, don't know everything. And if somebody's asking our opinion and it may not be appropriate, or you might not even be the right solution, but having the confidence and at least enough of the know-how to at least bring that on and give some helpful advice, even if it's not you're the one that they hire, or even they ultimately go with. So yeah, no, absolutely. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think you're right on, spot on. Like just being a voice of value, and I think that that's what we do, or you do, I more than I do. Just always trying to bring value on LinkedIn in particular, and then we try to position our clients that way. Like let's always share valuable content. That just kind of helps to build that authority.
Yes, totally agree. Absolutely. Yep.
Cool. Well, we've talked about trust a lot leading up to this, but now we're really here.
What happens if you put the T in front of all these letters? Tia? Yeah, that would that probably wouldn't work.
ATIA.
It obviously wouldn't go with our lounge theme anyways. So
That's true. Well, trust is probably the most exciting one, I think, for us to talk about, because this is definitely one thing that we talk about with our clients all the time, right?
big time.
Reviews, testimonials, transparency, and how it really helps the decision-making process. What do you think about trust, Gary?
Well, there's been this old notion in sales that it's great to building relationships, having people like you is a recipe for success in sales. And actually that's not necessarily true. And I noticed from my own personal perception, people don't necessarily have to like you, but they have to trust you.
Hot take.
Right? So there are many times I've held my nose because I don't potentially like a person, but I know they're going to give me and maybe because oftentimes a lot of people just say all the right things and they never want to ruffle the feathers, and it makes it's a feel good moment, but they won't really necessarily tell you what they're really thinking because there's a vested interest in there. Right?
Yep.
And that can come back to bite you, because if you are purposely misleading somebody just to be liked, but ultimately in the end, it's not either the right solution or right fit, it's going to blow up in their face anyways. So that short-sightedness when it comes to trust, it never works out. So trust is one thing that takes years to build and seconds to destroy. It's the ultimate, what is it? The new wave of current, is it?
You broke up for a second. Is it the what?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yes. What, trust is the new?
Yeah, that old notion of it's the new business currency, or I can't remember what the most valuable currency in business. I think that's what it is. So
yeah, and also, I mean, and we even talked about this at the Impact Live event, or that not we. I didn't talk about it. They talked about it. It's just trust signals are like one of the biggest key elements of getting found, because, like I mentioned earlier, Google's pulling that information. ChatGPT is pulling that information. They're using trust signals. In fact, we're going to do a post about that maybe next week, right? How to like learning more about trust signals.
Absolutely. Trust signals, EAT, these are all new terms, what we really weren't even talking about, a month ago? Like normally?
Yeah.
It's happening so fast. It's crazy how quickly this is all ramping up. And the reason why we're so obsessed with it, because it's really going to change everything.
Yeah.
Right?
It is going to change. It seems to be moving in that direction.
Absolutely.
Do you have any advice for how somebody can build up their trust signals, even before we write a post about it?
Well, ironically, I think you and I both agree, the first step is self-awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So finding out, and I did a post on this a couple of weeks ago, but I improved the prompt on it because I realized in ChatGPT, because it's learning and the memory is improving, you have to be careful that you're not including personal bias in some of your results. Because I don't know if you've heard that It loves to give the warm, fuzzy feelings. It's not necessarily disagreeing with you. And it's pretty funny how people have revealed some of this. So using a prompt that talks about public knowledge, or it's publicly known, is X, Y, and Z. So I can leave that. Maybe we can leave the prompt in the comments when we finish here. So you could literally copy and paste it into your own ChatGPT. Do a quick assessment of yourself. Find out what's going on. Maybe there's something you don't know about. It's almost like I hate to use that social credit because that's not necessarily what we're talking about here, but a trust currency eye. And I know we put together a grader actually already and made it really simple. So I'm going to hand that back. Actually, I'm sure you got a little bit more to talk about on that front.
No, I don't.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe we can talk when we talk on our Instinct episode next week. We can really dive into trust, building trust, the importance of trust signals, what, why, and how, about the trust signals. We'll definitely leave in like the custom GPT that we built, so you can kind of figure out how you're showing up online, which I think takes into account all of these different items, all E, A, and T.
Yep.
Not just trust. So people can kind of, like you said, building awareness and then kind of finding ways to, verify it online in small little ways. Even if it's having somebody just do a Google review or a video testimonial of like, hey, I was working with Corey, he was awesome. And then that's all part of it. That trust.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if even the LinkedIn recommendations, the written ones, is going to be a part of that. I can only imagine. But we are going to remove some of the mystery anyways, right? Right?
Yes. Because what?
We're going to be hosting something pretty exciting. So.
Yes, a webinar.
Yes, there we go. You're picking up what I'm putting down, Susan. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Well, I thought we would talk about that closer to the end.
So. I'm sorry. I don't have the agenda in front of me. I put my drink on it, and I'm not sure what happened to it. So.
All right. Well, let's move along. We did the E. We did the E. We did the A. We did the T. Expertise, experience, authority, trust. So. I think our next live Lucy's Lounge, are we going to do these monthly?
Yeah. I'm just getting rolling here. Maybe yeah. And I'm wondering if we invite a guest on. What do they say?
Oh, mystery guest.
Yeah. Where does that person sit? It'd be cool to have them on the stool, but that's not probably something. That won't happen, right?
Yeah. Facing out. That would be
right.
We'll figure it out. But I think maybe our next one, we can really go even deeper into this in personal branding, because it all ties together.
It does, absolutely. And in personal branding, not being a nice to have or just a fluff, or we are going to dive in deep and really help underscore the why, the what, and the how to start on a personal brand, because it should be on everybody's menu, no matter what you do, including looking for that new job, or you're looking for financing for your business, or you are in sales. It's because people are going to be doing on-demand prompts on you to find out if you are who you say you are. And that has to be done through a personal brand.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if they don't do prompts, even if they don't ask ChatGPT, I have notoriously Googled people for many, many years. So,
oh, you have? You never told me about this.
Oh yeah, I Googled you.
You're a total stalker. You Googled me.
I don't know.
That
was what, 10 years ago. You reached out to me on Twitter. That's
right.
Corey Falter guy.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Okay.
What happened?
Well, why don't we, in the off chance somebody's here and has a question, this would be a good time to ask.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's brave enough to step into this lounge yet.
That's probably true. I could tee up my own question.
And by the way, it's probably a good thing, because No, I'm just kidding. This
No,
is
no, no. All
this
good.
has
All
been
good.
fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Maybe I can put out a question and see if anybody wants to answer.
Oh yeah. Are you able to do that, by the way?
Well, I'm just going to say it. What's your personal recipe for building trust? I don't know if I have a personal recipe for building trust other than maybe being
Are you?
constant.
Wait a minute. But are you able to? Can you add a chat question in the chat?
I don't know.
Try it.
No, I can't.
Okay. Now, what was your question?
What is your personal recipe for building trust?
Oh shoot! It says can't post messages to some channels. I don't know why.
Maybe we can't get messages. So all good. But hey, if somebody's watching the rerun of this enthralling episode, they can add a question in YouTube or on LinkedIn and we can reply to it.
We are going to get super awesome. Oh, wait a minute. I did. Boom. I posted it to YouTube and Facebook.
Oh,
What
wow.
is your personal tip for building trust? How about that?
That's so fancy.
But I'm bummed. No LinkedIn? Come on, LinkedIn. What? Seriously? That's where all our peeps are. No, yeah, no, this, believe it or not, we really didn't fumble this too bad, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It would have been a really S show, but it did not turn out to be that.
Okay. Stay positive. This is all good.
I know.
Why don't we recap? So, on today's episode of Lucy's Lounge, our live happy hour, we talked about EAT, expertise, experience, authority, and trust. Next time, we're going to talk about personal branding. What about, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, it's been a good 27 minutes here, and I think it's been a great first run. But I'm loving this. This is awesome.
So we are really excited to do a webinar. We haven't announced a date yet on how to become AI ready, right? Corey, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Not to sound annoying or obnoxious, but we want to sound the alarm, guys, because the more that we dig into this topic, the more we realize so many people in hospitality, hotels, vendors, anybody associated that is trying to sell a product or service, not prepared. And the fixes or the ways to get proactive are not quick fixes. This isn't you flip a switch and suddenly you end up ranking. This takes time and it's going to take some effort. There's a really great outcome of this is that it's a great way to build more direct channels with everybody, which has always been a topic. And now is the time. There's no better time than right now. And there's 4 really core elements that we're gonna really touch on really quickly in the webinar. So Susan, maybe you want just quickly touch on those, and we can.
Our win strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Website.
Yep.
Intel.
Yep.
Getting smarter. We like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nurturing and selling.
There we go. 4 steps to success. But the first step being awareness, right? Understanding and not being the ostrich and not really, we won't have a choice this time not to change. It's coming. AI is it's really gonna pick winners and losers. Seriously.
I think it's already happening. I was pulling reports for all of our clients and inbound leads are down. I think that the zero click, I think that it's starting to happen. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you look at HubSpot's numbers, the OG of website traffic. Look at it tanked.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get ahead of it. We're going to get ahead of the curve for ourselves, for our clients, and try to teach other people how to do that as well. So, all right. Well, I guess until next time, right? Oh, I have a sign off. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for whoever is watching us.
Probably nobody.
But that's okay.
No, I love it. It's great.
Oh, here's the sign off.
More to ourselves.
Until next time, keep your content spicy and your branding shaken, not stirred. It's dumb.
Oh, I kind of like that though. I need a little massage, a little recipe tweak. All right, a little bit more bourbon.
Yeah. Or maybe vodka's in this one.
Pretty darn solid right there. I think we got something to work with for
Yeah.
sure.
Cool. Well, thanks, Corey. I enjoyed having happy hour with you and having this fun conversation.
Well, can we do a virtual fist bump?
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Like I got big gorilla hands. That's funny.
Are you gonna change it up next time? Our bar setup?
Oh well, I don't want to get too crazy. I don't think anybody saw it yet, so maybe it's fresh and new for everybody, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well,
Cool.
once we get a little bit more tricky, we'll decorate it for spring and summer, and
Oh yeah. Okay.
like
All
you
right.
used to do in our virtual lounge. By the way, why don't you plug Lucy's Lounge, like on our website?
Yeah. I wonder if we can stream this there. That would be so cool. Yeah, check out Lucy's Lounge at lureagency.com for some spicy surprises, and we should probably
Just
read it.
Look for the red knock knock at the very top right of the page, pop header, and step inside if you dare, and we'll be waiting for you.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. We should do a video for that, by the way.
Hey,
Yeah,
see,
so in here talking of like welcome to Lucy's Lounge.
oh, okay. Wow, now you're getting all fancy. Like it must be those cocktail recipes.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, have a good weekend.
You too.
I guess we now leave. Is that
Okay.
it?
I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay here.
Stay all night. Okay, your night just got started.